It's a tune we've not played before, but it means a lot. And we're happy to be here and playing music again tonight. Thank you, Barry, for that. The Beauty and the Beast was the name of that tune, and it was written by a wonderful sax player named Wayne Shorter. That came out in 1970, and I remember buying that vinyl when that came out. It's an album called Native Dancer with Milton Nascimento and other. It was the beginning of some of that jazz fusion funk stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
Some good stuff out of there.
We're gonna be covering a range of eras tonight. I don't know if you remember last time we had the pleasure of playing here at Snapdragon and Sarah hosted us. We did a lot of ballads, and that was really enjoyable. But of course we were missing singers and whatnot, but we tried to make the best of it. Tonight we're going to be mixing up some stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, with a couple of older tunes going all the way back to the 30s. So the next tune is one by a piano player who changed the way jazz piano was understood, and that I'm talking about McCoy Tyner. And the thing about McCoy Tyner is he played in what was called a modal style, so he really liked using fourths, and it's very much of what was happening in the mid to late 60s. And so this one is called Contemplation, good for a summer Saturday, summer solstice, quiet night, just for contemplating, so that's what we're going to do. inflation. All right, so a change from that style goes way back and its roots in probably New Orleans and blues, but this next tune is by who some people call melodious funk, but Thelonious Monk, and he wrote an amazing number of very creative tunes that push things in directions that nobody had done before. But surprisingly, Barry, do you know what he called his favorite tune?
His favorite tune? No, I have no idea.
It's the tune we're going to play,
Oh,
which is a straight ahead,
just a straight ahead
blues. And he called it his most favorite composition. He recorded it many times, the first time in 1954. So this one is called Blue Monk.
Blue Monk.
Featuring Barry Cooper on trumpet. Thank you, Barry. All right. So jumping in decades, we're going to come into 1989. This is a tune that was written by Kenny Barron. It's been done by quite a few people in very different styles. Latin jazz, kind of soulful jazz, spacey, acid jazz, and we're going to do it in Snapdragon style, I think what that is. And before we start, just to remind people that we're asking that in lieu of kind of any tips or things, please help support a cause that we're both passionate about, and that's Vashon Youth and Family Services. So we very much appreciate any support. It goes a long way, helps a lot of people in this community, and this is the time we need help, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, one other thing I should mention, all of the music we're playing tonight is written by Black Americans. And so this is Black Lives Matter. This is black jazz is Americans' art form, true art form.
Oh,
Black
it is,
American
absolutely.
art form. So we're grateful that we get to play and enjoy this music, and hope you do too. So the next tune, Sun Shower. Sun Shower by Kenny Barron, the pianist. All right, should we shift gears again? So I don't know if people are aware that normally we play in a big band with Camille Reeves, the Confessions, soul funk and dancing, and so this is a kind of a change. We haven't gotten to play together very much, so we're trying some of these tunes out and figuring our way along as we go.
And some of this is kind of, tonight is
It's an experiment.
kind of an experiment. Yeah,
So I
right.
hope you enjoy
right.
it. I mean, it's not
That's
the
what jazz
usual-
is, right?
Yeah. All right, so. experiment. Dizzy Gillespie, the composer of that tune, back in 1942. Many people have done that song in big bands and small bands, and one of the more interesting is a great soul singer, Chaka Khan, does a pretty hip version of that. So now we're going to go back into that time period of the 40s and 50s, but the next one is a song that was in 2 movies. The first in 1950 and the second in 1952.
I have no idea what what the movies
So
are.
the song is called Invitation.
Mhm.
The first movie was called A Life of Her Own in 1950. It was not a huge hit. Then Invitation became the theme song of the 1952 film called Invitation.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's been called one of the more haunting melodies because of the minor 6th chords that are in it. The composer was Bronislaw Kaper, I think was his name, wrote the music.
Mhm.
This is his second most popular song. Do you know his first most popular song? I'm getting you.
He's always trying to stump me, and he always does.
It's a tune that we need to play, maybe not tonight, but another time. Green Dolphin Street.
Oh my gosh!
Great film.
Oh, that
A great
he did
song.
that one.
That was fabulous.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Yes.
so we'll do that
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah.
All right. So this one is Invitation. Okay. Should we give your lips a break? Ain't necessarily so. Ain't necessarily so. Things that you're liable to read in the Bible, it ain't necessarily so. Little Jonah was ate by a whale. Jonah was ate by a whale. He made his home in that great big abdomen. Little Jonah was ate by a whale. David was small, but oh my. Little David was small, but oh my. He slayed Goliath, who lay down and dieth. Little David was small, but oh my. Ain't necessarily so. Ain't necessarily so. The things that you're liable to read in the Bible ain't necessarily. Ain't necessarily. Necessarily so. (1935), the Gershwins, in an opera that's become a little bit controversial because of its racial subjects, but the music is incredible, and it was just redone by the Metropolitan Opera in New York last year. Quite a piece. All right. Shall we finish up?
Yeah, we've got this one last piece.
One last tune.
And what is it? What are we doing?
This one, was written in 1959, and it was the kind of coming out solo album. The album was called Giant Steps, and this was written by John Coltrane and named after his wife, Naima. And it's a lovely ballad.
Yeah, it's absolutely lovely. Yeah.
And it's famous for its kind of pedal tones. So we'll see. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good weekend.
Thank you all for being here and for watching in. This is great. Chris?
We very much appreciate you listening, and we really enjoy playing for you. Hope we can see you again, and stay safe, stay well, and enjoy the summer.